It's time to go. Hey everyone, last week was a blast. I'm telling you, we got a lot done, and if you didn't see last week's video, I encourage you to go back and check it out. This week we've got a lot of work to do. It's real tech heavy this week. I got a lot of stuff that I need to do. Rebuild master cylinder, get the engine running right. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that needs doing, and I'm glad you're with me on the channel. Come on, let's take a look at how it went. All right, so we've got a bunch of things planned. One of, I'm gonna make all of these pieces and replace that bed. We're going to repair the floor and repair the ceiling and the dashboard. And the way that I'm gonna do that is with that thing. First of all, it rained. I gotta get these bare metal doors back in the building because that's no good. But anyway, so I picked up this. We're going to use that piece of the dash. We're going to use this center section of floor. And most importantly, the roof. That's what we're going to use. But I got a lot of fab work. So this is the router table that I'm going to use to make the planks for the wood bed. And these are some aftermarket wheels. Well, they're actually stock Toyota FJ wheels, but I got them really super cheap, and it's because these, believe it or not, the guy had to weld them because they're coming apart from rust. So they're not safe to use. Even if I put new rubber on them, these are just what we call may pops. Tires may pop at any second. But more importantly, I'm concerned about the center spoke section separating from the outer part of the rim. Like I said, the guy that put the tires on had to weld a couple of them, and they're absolute junk. They're done for forever. They're done. So while those Toyota wheels might not be the right wheels, they're definitely going to be safe wheels that I can throw on. It'll set the truck up a little higher, and you'll be able to run it down the road, which I'm trying to do this week. Which means right now parts have been ordered and they're on the way. I'm hoping to get them in a couple of days. If I can get it all put in before the Wednesday night deadline, you'll see it in a few minutes. But enough talking, I got work to do. This steering wheel, it's complete. There's a big chip out of it, but the problem I have with it is it's on upside down. It goes this way, like this. You see the hand marks for steering the truck? Yeah, it goes this way. I already cleaned out the threads with a tap and compressed air, and I've sprayed them up. So I'm gonna try a puller and see if I can get this off, because I want this wheel on there. This isn't something that's important right now. It's fairly early and I like to warm up, if you know what I mean. I don't like to dive right into laying on the ground if I don't have to. So there you go, there's some more light. Looks like someone had a puller on it once already. They probably couldn't get it done, but I'm not them and they're not me. So let's find out. First of all, these are a little chewed up. I don't think this is the right thread. Yeah, I don't think that's right. No, these aren't long enough. I gotta find some longer ones. I find some longer ones, 5/16, 18, I'm guessing. Definitely American thread, so 1 second. Found some longer ones, and it should run. When you constantly use the same puller over and over, the threads get crappy down where it's constantly pulling on the screw pressure. Hopefully these are long enough they can get me into the good meat of the threads. No. Oftentimes it's all about leverage. Longer breaker bar. And another little thing I'm gonna do, hopefully this will do the trick. And not start a fire. It's not very hot, but let's see if anything promising will occur. Oh, what the hell? Is this Win Wednesday already? I don't think so, but that's all. I just had to get the right length bolts. A little bit of heat actually really helped it. Now, let's hope this hub assembly will go on the other steering wheel. I'm gonna paint those. I got a new filter coming. There's nothing wrong with the metal. I was able to drill out those 2 bolts that hold this cap. And this one is in much better shape, so that's the steering wheel. I'm gonna get that put on real quick. A couple of interesting things. The end of this steering shaft was mushroomed, and you couldn't get a nut on it. And that's what's gonna hold your steering wheel on. So I took the flap disc and I ground a bevel on it so I could get, not a new nut, because they wouldn't go on. It's actually a die. Many years ago in the early 90s, a kid gave me a box of his grandfather's tools, and at the time I didn't even know what these were. But I saved them. I put them all in a separate drawer, and over time I knew what they were and I learned to use them. This is actually chases the threads or cuts threads. Fortunately, I was able to get it started, and I used just a crescent wrench and I cut through all the way down and cleaned the threads up, which is brilliant. For a tool that 30 some years ago, I didn't even know what that was, but I'm glad I saved all that stuff. And this is another one of those tools. This is actually a windshield seal cutter. And I've used this before, but we're gonna use it because we're taking the glass out soon. So I'm happy about that. Let me get that steering wheel put back on in case I need to move the truck around, we can steer it. But yeah, just thought you'd find that interesting. I got the window out. Well, all the windows. I have to repair that. But the good news is, this will make it a little easier. New water pump, water neck, found all the pulleys, all the interior parts. This I actually had from a truck 5 or 6 years ago. Threw some paint on those because we are waiting on the Summit order, should be here any minute. I'm cleaning out all the threads because like here, this one's full of wasps, mud daubers or whatever. When I put it together, I want everything to tighten up properly, and the only way to do it is make sure there's nothing in the threads. I've already done the valve covers with this quarter 20. Put a little spray adhesive on these gaskets so they stick right on. Thread sealant, because the back of some of these bolts go through the water jacket. I got to figure out some kind of alternator bracket. I got to do the plug wires. This fan and shroud assembly came with the truck. Definitely doesn't go to the truck. I think I can make it work if I have 5 1/4 or less. Okay, I can make it work. What do we got over here? Yeah, that's too much. So I basically need to cut that fan out of this shroud because it doesn't fit. Does it fit? I don't think it fits. Right there. Yeah, but it's starting to look like a vehicle again. We'll get there. Let me gather my bearings. It's looking a little better. I got to get a different belt and a bunch of other stuff. But for right now, the problem is this broken exhaust manifold. I have another one. I'm going to change the gasket and the donut and get some new gaskets on the block. And then in a few minutes, this thing should be ready to test fire again, I think. Broke the screwdriver. Yeah, cheap screwdrivers. They're disposable. Cool. There's the broken one. Here's the one that isn't broken. And it had like a flap that heats up, I think, the manifold or something. I don't know what exactly it did. I don't care. I took it all apart. I'd like to say I tapped those in there, but I literally tapped them with a hammer. I found some metrics that were close and I just tapped them in there. They might fall out, but all right, I'm ready to put this on. I got the new manifold on. As you can see, new gaskets in there. They're pretty cool. You just drop them right down. Get the bolts started. I ran a tap in each one of those holes and I cleaned all the threads off the bolts. See how easy everything works? It's worth it. Okay, I'm gonna snug it up. I'm gonna go down there, tighten that up. It's got the new donut in it. I've got most of the stuff cleaned up right now. I'm gonna do the bed next. The glass should be here in a couple days. Okay, so I still have to align the pulleys. They're not aligned. It will start. Still kind of sounds like a tractor. The exhaust is basically just perforated tubing. Let me get to this bed. I have a lot of steel to repair. That's fine. Before I order a tank, I need to see what's going to fit in the frame rails. So hang on one second, let me clean all this out. All right, that didn't make too much of a mess. I basically cut a couple relief cuts and hit the boards with a hammer a little bit at a time. Obviously turned them into splinters, but you could see how difficult it would be to try and unloosen or remove all those pan head from the bottom. They would just spin, and they're tough to cut like that. So now that I've removed all the wood, or damn near it, see, stuff like this, you can get your finger or a blade right in there, cut one at a time. So basically I'll save those strips, straighten them out, reuse them, and I'll make new boards out of plank. Not this, but 3/4 of an inch roughly. But yeah, it's a big job. I'll start that in the morning. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's been a long day, but it was worth it. It's all pressure washed. One thing I noticed about this, look how many ribs, how many strips there are. I've never seen a bed with that many strips. I don't think that's normal. We know this truck was like reconditioned in the 80s. I think someone did that, and they had planks. They were a little overzealous, perhaps. But yeah, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Especially when I have to make every piece with this. You know what I mean? We're gonna reduce that by half, probably. Overall, it's starting to look like a V8 4-speed. Let's get to getting, huh? This truck came with new floor pans, so this is actually gonna go here. I'm gonna take care of all that. I gotta cut a slot for the clutch pedal, trim this edge, and get it tucked up in there. But before I do that, I also have this piece from the cab over there. I wanna cut this out, because that's where the master cylinder is for the brakes. And when I make this opening, I should be able to reach in there and probably lay underneath, which I don't like doing. And I want to get this master cylinder off because I have a rebuild kit. I'm going to try and do that first. That's the master cylinder. It's connected to the brake, which, now there you go. And there's a brake pedal, clutch pedal. That's most of what you need for go-go, huh? There's a big bracket under here. I can maybe take off another little bit, which I'll probably do just to gain access. There's a bolt on the end of here. I already got it off. I need to get it free. Let me show you what I'm working on over here. So the master cylinder, of course, that spring keeps pressure on this pedal. See down there where they join together? Like right there. There's threads on the bottom. I put a nut on it so I could pound on it, but it's pretty stuck in there. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'll let this spring go. It'll sit down. I'll heat that up and tap on it and hopefully get it free, because I have to have that free, otherwise I gotta cut the whole floor out. And I don't really want to do that. There's structure behind there. Because this I need to get off. There's only 2 other bolts after that. So that's what I'm working on. 1 second. Good old plumbing torch. I probably should replace this hose. You want to know why? That torch was on the plumbing truck when I was probably 32 years old. And I'm now quite a bit older. That is, it's not cracked yet, but I mean, I probably should replace that. Anyway, back to this. So if you can see right there, I was able to get the pedal out. Now it looks like it's a bit of taper fit, which would explain why it wouldn't come out. I just heated it up and it came right out. So, all right, I gotta cut this line, get those two bolts off, and I should be able to pull this thing out of here. Vintage trucks require vintage tools. Picked that up at a flea market. These are solid. I think I paid $5 for them. Those are exceptionally clean. Almost like someone had been in this brake system before, which I'm sure they must have been. A couple of times, I would imagine. So there you go. That's a 1958 Brake Master cylinder. Single reservoir, one line. So if you have a problem at any one of the corners of your vehicle, like you have a brake line burst or something, you have no brakes at all. Modern brakes have two reservoirs in them, and you basically have two separate systems, a front and a rear. So if you have a problem on one axle, you still will have brakes. This, not so much. I'm gonna rebuild it. I'm gonna try. Well, obviously this has to come out. That's the lid. This pivot has to come off so I can get the pistons out. There's gonna be seals in there somewhere. So let's put it in like this. See if I can work on that. That's something. Okay. Yeah, it's a pivot bolt. Looks like it's adjustable. Yeah, it's adjustable. See that? It's eccentric. Off center. So if you have too much pedal pressure, you can back it off, moving the length of this pivot. In theory. That's real good. It's not even connected. Which I don't think, I think it's just in a cup and a plunger, but okay. First things first. Ooh. Yikes. Well, good thing is, believe it or not, you can buy this complete for around $100. I looked online, Rock Auto. Best place to buy auto parts. But yeah. Okay, let's see what it looks like in there. Oh, okay. So yeah, the plunger, I don't know if you can see that. You can see in there the little broken pieces of metal. That's the clip that holds the rubber on, but the plunger is all the way stuck inside of there. I don't know if you can see that, but so I got to get that out, clean it, and maybe it'll be rebuildable. Considering I found this in the truck. See if we can get this done. These are the best damn pliers I've ever used. I'm a channel ox guy, which I like channel locks because honestly, it's a good design. It's largely universal for like many different things, but being a plumber, we always use these. But as you can see, the flats, you know, if you've got a good grip strength, the flats, this is perfect for them. And it'll also grab, you know, round stuff too. So it's really, these are good, but you got to have really strong grip strength. The older I get, the more I learn to appreciate this. This was sent to me by a viewer, a buddy of mine. Cav sent me these along with another pair. I had another pair of these. I set them on the back of my truck and drove off, and they're now gone forever. But this pair, this is like an upgrade to channel locks. They put a little more engineering in them. No longer are there slots like this. This tiny little precision half moon shape, engineering wise, is brilliant. You wouldn't think it's very strong, but believe me, the way that it's designed, you use less grip strength and get more gripping power. So I literally just, this is all rounded off, where these are not great on rounded off stuff, but I just grabbed a hold of it and just, because the way it's designed, it increases your leverage of grip. So that's super good. This, the flats are good enough. I can probably use a socket on this rather than chew up the soft aluminum. But I mean, the way these things, here, let's do this. If you can see that, you can get one here or here, depending on where you're at. I like the back of the jaw. It always works better. But now, right now, I'm squeezing, but it's delivering the force this way. It should just come right off. Yep, not bad at all. And the harder you pull, the tighter it grabs, where this isn't like that. So this is just a way better tool. Nipex, I think Rothenberger makes some of these, but these are great. This is big. I'd like to have a smaller pair too, but they're fantastic. Hey, what do you know? There's no fluid in there. This is very tight. I grabbed it with this quickly, but I was pulling, and you should always be pushing down whenever possible. So I'm going to put these to the ultimate test. I mean, I have to use all my force. Whatever strength I have, that's what we're going to use. So either it's going to blow apart and hurt me, which hardened tools are known to do, or it's going to work. I'm putting this over there in case the tool explodes. Well, one thing it didn't do was slip. I'm still a fan of these. I gotta get something else. I have this. I don't like it. If only just a bit of a cheater bar. Something's gonna happen in it. That's it. That's the seal. The seal's not that old. I can see markings on it. All right, let me get this all cleaned out. And there she blows. Shit, this rubber is all still in good shape. I bet you I could clean it and put it all back together. But it has little orifices that I bet are all plugged up. Yeah, bad idea. But, oh, hello there. Let's clean the bore. So I got to pull out one of my other ancient tools. This little gem is designed for exactly what I'm going to do with it. It's a cylinder hone. It basically has real fine stones on here. And I originally got this for a brake caliper that I couldn't get a hold of. So I bought this hone online and said, well, let me give it a try. And you put this inside and it forces itself out, and as you rotate it with a drill, it puts fine sanding effect on the bore. And that's what I'm going to do right now, because I don't know if you can see in there. It's pretty clean, but there's, I don't know if you can see in there. I want it smooth, and it's not exactly smooth. So we're gonna put this in the drill. It's flexible so it doesn't break, but and you're supposed to use a light lube oil. Also helps wash it away. You don't want to go no further than the spring. Okay. That, believe it or not, should make a big difference. Oh, and it did. It let me know how pitted the surface is, but it's definitely smooth. There's a couple of reasonably good chunks in there. I don't know that this will make pressure. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, it's way, way better. Yeah, you can see some wear in there. Well, if I put this kit in and I still have no brake pressure, we know why. It's because the bore is junk. I mean, really, I should just go order another one, but I want to at least get something done. And let's start with, do we have everything in the kit? So what do we need? We need the spring. You need, okay. So we're looking for this disc, this seal, that orifice, and this plunger. This can be cleaned out. What do we got? Cardboard's so old. Oh, look at that. Well, we got the orifice piece that goes in the spring. Ah, okay. I see where that goes now. It's part of that. Okay, so that's good. This is a new seal for here. That's good. Here's a disc. That's good. So we have the plunger and the clip that holds it all together. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let me reassemble this real quick. We'll get some fluid in it, bleed it, and we'll put it in and see what happens. So this plunger, the new one, goes in from this side. Here's the plunger. This is the old one. The new one went in like that. So it's in there. And then the clip is to prevent it from extending too far out. I've cleaned this up. It goes inside this rubber piece, which will fit around it like a glove. And then that, I put a little grease on the end of there. Put that in there, and that controls the brake action, if it works. So I thought I'd just tell you. And then this piece goes in from the other side. It's just the other half of the plunger. And then the cap holds it down. So there you go. Push the little rubber piece. And this. Okay, that's basically together. I mean, I have to put a brake fitting in here, run the fitting into there, fill it with fluid, and pump the lever until the bubbles stop. Then I can take it in there and put it in a truck. It's called bench bleeding. You have to do it on every master cylinder. But okay, I'm confident that that is probably not going to work. But if it did, it saved me $100, which, you know me. I have no reason to believe that this will not work. It's bled, and I feel like it has some pressure. I think we're gonna have brakes, fellas. Master cylinder's back in the truck. I'm starting to change the front brake lines because I plugged the rear brake lines, and all I have to do is connect this to this, and in theory I should be able to have front brakes, which means I can try to move this under its own power. However, I have not opened any of these drums yet, and the way they spin with no noise, I'm inclined to believe there's no shoes or hardware inside of them, which kind of bums me out because I was really looking forward to getting this thing going, and I've already made a bunch of orders. Now, it's not to say I can't order them again, but I probably should have looked. Probably. Of course I should have. I should have looked. Yep, I knew it. Nothing. Okay, well, so much for moving it under its own power today. Now, I was thinking, now would be a good time to upgrade that front axle to disc brakes. I mean, I got to buy all the hardware anyway, but what about the master cylinder? That master cylinder doesn't move enough fluid, I don't think, for disc brakes. They're different. Maybe there's a cheap enough kit. The rear can stay drum, I don't mind that. I guess I got to go look on the internet, but the reality is I probably have to buy a complete all four-wheel hardware and shoe package, but I got to measure the drums because I'm pretty sure they had different sizes. Next week, it's going to be a pretty heavy fab episode, but as you can see, I got the brakes put back together. I just ordered all the new hardware and new shoes for all four corners. Wasn't that much, like 150 bucks for the all the hardware, springs, adjusters, every bit of it, and new shoes all the way around, like 140, which is not bad, honestly. So let me do a couple things. I want to give you the little treat, and we're going to start to wrap this one up. Well, tomorrow I'll get out here and I'll start dealing with all of the fabrication now that I can seal the floor up mostly. The engine is pretty much assembled. For now, I'm still waiting on the proper pulleys, but I thought I'd share this little bit of fun and excitement, because after all, it is Win Wednesday. I mean, I was able to rebuild the master cylinder. I've got brake pressure. I just need parts. And I got the engine mostly put together. I think the last time you heard it, it had a broken manifold and it barely ran. And I now have a fuel pump on it. Next time, you're going to see this drive. That's where we're going to have to leave it for this week, folks. Always remember, Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on back for new episodes. We've really been working hard to meet this schedule. I hope you're enjoying it. Leave a comment below, like, and thanks. I'll see you soon.